the law of this jungle is as old and as real as the sky. And the wolf that abides will prosper, but a wolf that breaks it will die. You see out here in this jungle, we run it forward and back. For the strength of the pack is the wolf, and the strength of the wolf is the pack. I used to run with the pack, nowadays I run for the pack. Represent from the front to the back, balls in my heart, my city on the map. I was in the field, you sitting on the bench. See me in the gym, rep till I'm bench. Sweat till I win, that's a victory stench. Yeah, we stay ready for the war, man, I settle in the score. Settle it. Right now I'm with the hype, I ain't in it for the light. I was down on the ground, now I'm up for the fight. I'm on it. See sight at the dark, now it's into the light. Alpha mode, down for my team. I wake up and I'm chasing a dream. Done dirt, but my crep stay clean. Send for me, rude boy, how you mean? Look at my tongue with the verses. Clean sheet in him and I'm on the verse with. Prize fighter, I'm taking the purses. Death match and their family in hearses. The law of this jungle, we run it forward and back. For the strength of the pack is the wolf, and the strength of the wolf is the pack. See out here in this jungle, we run it forward and back. For the strength of the pack is the wolf, and the strength of the wolf is the pack.
Back at the Golden Palace and looking for a hat-trick of Premier League victories. That would equal a club record in the Premier League era. Also, if they can win at home without conceding, they'll equal a record that has stood for the best part of 50 years. Julian Lopetegui has clearly instigated an important turnaround in the way Wolves have gone about things in the last couple of months or so. But today represents another stiff test against a side very much embroiled in the relegation issues. I'm Mikey Burrows. Alongside me as ever is the Hall of Famer Andy Thompson and the former Wolves defender Lee Naylor joining us too here at Molineux. We've got plenty to come before kick-off, including an extended interview with the sporting director Matt Hobbs, which is one not to be missed, talking about everything that went on in January and much more. We come into this game, Tomo, I guess, in a fairly buoyant mood, having picked up 2 wins in the last 2 games that, for one reason or another, both a little bit unexpected.
Yeah, it is, and I just think the performance against Liverpool, where they got into Liverpool and got those 2 early goals, was a great start for them, and it gave them the confidence to go on. Again, at Southampton last week, wasn't a great first half from us, but you could see us just growing into the game, and I know Southampton went 1-0 up. We went down to 10 men, but we looked like the team who was going to win it towards the end. They looked scared. They looked confidence had gone out them, Southampton, and we were fortunate that we won it with a great goal. So, but it just shows you the quality that we've got and the character, of course, to fight back from that 1-0 deficit.
It's an element, Lee Naylor, whereby if you've got that bonus 3 points, you can't afford to slip up this weekend and undo all the good work.
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing you don't want to do. You got a home game against Bournemouth, who also need the points. You've collected six out of 2 games. You want to build on that, especially the manager and the team. They'll want to build on that, try and get 3 out of 3. And it's much needed points, let's be honest.
Well, let's take a look at the selection that Julian Lopetegui has made today. That man in your picture, Adama Traore, back into the starting lineup, having made 2 really impressive substitute appearances in the last 2 games. Hugo Bueno back in for Rayane Nouri left back. That change at half time, maybe one of those things that swung things in Wolves' favour at St Mary's a week ago. So Jose Sarr in goal, Semedo, Dawson, Kilman and Bueno the back 4, Matinho, Neves and Mateus Nunes the midfield 3, Adama Traore, Mateus Cunha and Pablo Sarabia up top. You might notice that Daniel Pedence is back amongst the substitutes, and João Gomez, we'll talk about him in a moment or so. No Pedro Neto amongst the substitutes. He did get a goal for the under-21s. We can see it here, playing in a game against Arsenal in Premier League 2. And just look at the way he snapped in there to win the ball back and then dispatches that finish. That's really good to see, Tomo, that Neto, having been on the bench last week, not on the bench today, but is on the comeback.
Yeah, it is, and he's like a new signing, isn't he? Because he's had his misfortunes of injuries over the last year or 2. which have been major injuries, which caused him big problems. But look, it's nice to see him back. Nice to see him on the score sheet, and there's no doubt about it. When he's fully fit and when he's firing on all cylinders, he'll be a good asset to have in the club. So with all the things that we've got and who we've brought in already, that is what we want. We want those fresh legs from him. And he's probably been left out today because he's played in the game. They don't want to probably throw too much at him all at once with his comeback. They'll want to make sure that he's right, but also as well making sure that he's careful about the injuries or pulling anything in the weeks coming.
Yeah, he played 45 minutes in that game. That was pre-arranged.
Yeah.
Lee Naylor, I know you saw that match. It was really good to see that, he looked like the Neto of old, really. And despite the fact that he's only, I think, 22, so he's only really a year older than some of the others involved in that game. In fact, I think he was 2 months older than Arsenal's oldest player. He looked a cut above, didn't he, in that 45 minutes?
Yeah, because I actually got there and I didn't know what the team was. I didn't have the heads up that anyone was playing either, and I sort of went, "Who's that guy?" Obviously, it was him, and he was outstanding. He looked sharp. He looked well at it. He looked like he was putting in the hard graft as well to try and get back fit for the first team, and it was refreshing to see.
Let's talk about the starting lineup for today. Both of you well versed in that left back position. We've talked about this a number of times, and it appears that we are still no real closer to knowing who is the first choice left back. Ryan Aït-Nouri got in, but now has he lost that place and Breno's back in?
I just think that this manager isn't worried about swapping and changing players. If he thinks that he's got quality players who he can mix the team up, who he can put into the side, and look for various games, he might have thought that Aït-Nouri could have offered us a little bit more going forward last week. It didn't work, but he was very quick to make the changes at half time, wasn't he? And that's the beauty of him. If he don't think something's working, he's happy just to change it straight away because he thinks that everybody that he's got on that bench is somebody who can go on there and do a job for him or a certain style of play that he wants. And it worked out in the end with getting that victory. But I just think that he knows that he's got that depth. He knows that he's got people on the bench who he can change now. And look, he made the right decision, didn't he? Because he got the right result. And that's the important bit about it.
It's just interesting that it almost feels like, Lee Naylor, that Bueno has developed into being a little bit more trusted as the defensive one out of the two, which for those who'd seen him an awful lot in under-21s football might not have been the case.
Yeah, I mean, out of the two, you would say that Bueno has got the better defensive quality. For me, it looks like he's going for a counter-attack today. That's the way it looks like he's set up. And he's going to trust Bueno a little bit more than Aït-Nouri. That's the way I'm looking at it. For me, if the game changes, then Aït-Nouri's there to have. He's brilliant at attacking. He's very good at going forward. And depending on how the game goes, I think he's just got him there for the attack.
It's going to be really interesting to see Adama Traore into the starting lineup as well. No Mario Lemina, of course. Tomo has very much had his say on that situation. And quite a few people already, as we arrived today, pointing out that Tomo was in a bit of a bad mood last week when all that happened. So we might reference it, but let's take a look at what happened at St Mary's last weekend. High ball towards Onuachu. Lemina trying to challenge for it. Hooked back into the danger zone by Salisu. And away by Dawson and fired goalwards, and it's in! Turn home, it's Carlos Alcaraz who got his shot away in the second attempt and via the inside of the post just about gets it over the line. Great feat from Lemina. Walls again asking the question, where's their free kick? Where Southampton come more. It's Perro, low ball in, turned away by Dawson. Oh, Lemina has got a second yellow, and Lemina is sent off on his return to Southampton. Can only be for something he said after not getting the free kick a moment ago.
Just got to settle things down and get themselves back into it somehow.
It's a very clever ball by Dawson for Martinho. Trying to whip it in behind for the run of Cunha. Cunha, right inside of the penalty area, all on his own, smashes over the top. Onuachu will nod it down. Roman Perot, Southampton left, whips his cross in, turned away by Mateus, not fully, and a massive important block by Maximilian Kilman. Sulemana making a run, but Kilman sold it short. Sulemana, brilliant from Jose Sarr, unbelievable goalkeeping. Tries to whip it out towards Adama Traore. Traore getting the better of Perot. Right hand side of the box. Low one in. Diego Costa couldn't quite take it. He'll try and tee it up here for Semedo. Semedo hitting through the bodies, and Sarabia couldn't quite get on the end of it. Bueno, couple of step overs. Looks to play it in. Comes to Costa. Brilliant block. It's going to fall to Adama Traore. Must shoot. Blocked on the line. It's in. It's scrambled in. And Wolves are level at St Mary's. What a massive moment. He drops here to João Gomez, up towards the edge of the box. Gomez trying to shoot, comes back to him. Gomez! Oh, João Gomez! Oh, João Gomez! It's incredible! It's sensational! What a debut!
Let's go,
Adama, what a comeback. How are you feeling right now?
Yeah, amazing. I think the team have very good spirit, even where we have one man less, but we keep going, we keep fighting, and the result come. We believe, and in the end, so we have the results.
João Gomez on his debut. Wow. Have you spoken to him? Does he know how much that means to those fans?
Yeah, I know. You know, he's a young lad. You have to keep working. He's a great player, you know, and it's the day for him. We make the day for him. So happy for him, and we keep going.
After a difficult first half, of course, going down to 10 men, is there a sense of relief to be coming away with not just a draw, but with all 3 points?
Yeah, of course. We always have to believe. We never surrender. It doesn't matter what is the situation. We have to keep fighting. That's what the mentality we have, and that's the mentality the Gaffer won.
This is the first time this season we've had back-to-back league wins. Have we turned a corner now?
Yeah, for sure. I think we have to keep believing. This game, it was amazing how we come back, and we have to keep going.
And finally, Adama, anything you want to say to those fans over there? The away end is still absolutely bouncing.
No, enjoy. We won today, and we keep working. That's all.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Adama. Cheers.
He's aware that 1 in 8,333 make the cut, and so he's thinking about scoring while he's lacing up. He made sure he ate good and got his 8 hours in. The gaffer told him just focus, and you'll do nothing but win. And even though the things on Snap kept on buzzing down his phone, he had a little peek, he swiped right, but he made sure he left them alone. It's no distractions, I've gotta keep that hunger and focus. Check my kickback twice, and remove that chip off my shoulders. Can't be late, I'm trying to be the first one to the ground. Headphones in, I'm vibing, bumping, listening to SR and Pounds, thinking it's nerves. But then I think, some of these man just talk enough. Take it easy, and don't go too intense on the warm-up. Man like Kai, quick firms, but you know he's gonna be marking me. I can't get caught flat-footed, and he knows just how sharp I'll be. Match scenario, 1 inch space, and then I'm in there. Quick 1, 2, boom, first goal, that's me. Get in there, but calm down. I gotta keep myself composed, and I can't get too gassed, because it wasn't the cleanest of goals. I need another. To go first team, I have to make a statement. Remember, talent can only take you so far. It's the hard work that sticks out blatant. You know Ryan's got a ping on him, so when he gets it, you're gone. Fake coming short for the ball, then drop the shoulder, race on. Are you a speedy one, bro? Is the defender kinda slow? And if so, it's all about that first touch towards the goal. Because if it's dead, then you're given time to make up the ground. And if it's good, you hit the back of the net, make that beautiful sound. The gaffer's watching, he's making notes, and then he sees his assistant walk up. He tells you that they're impressed, and that you've earned yourself a call-up. Then he says, wait, before you even think about making the team, make sure you go home and get those dirty boots clean. Man, this is nuts, I'm shaking. Wait till the time my mum and the bros. I'm gassed, I've been grafting for this, but still kinda mad I've been chose. Crazy, anticipation. Use all the emotions to feed desire and fuel performance. Tell your boys you're locked tough, and tomorrow's game is enormous. Match day, you're in the tunnel. Put yourself at the back of the line. Close your eyes for a second. When you open them again, it's your time. Wolves, next gen.
So it's Wolves against Bournemouth here at Molineux this afternoon. I know there's a few people who've messaged in suggesting that they're going to run some kind of betting book on how long it will take Tomo to start criticising the officials today. We do not endorse that in any way. Please only put bets on things when you can afford to lose money. But obviously it's a pretty safe bet that at some point today Tomo will criticise the officials.
I don't know what you're talking about, mate.
Have you calmed down yet?
Yeah, oh yeah, I'll calm down. Calm down straight after I got the result at the end of it, mate. So, yeah, I'm not going to go into it today, but yeah. So I just think that I'm still trying to fathom, work out what actually happened and why the sending off come, but just making up rules as I go along by the look of it. But
He's still going on about decisions that he had when he was back playing. So
yeah. I'm talking to you when I was 15. So like.
Well, this is, of course, the reason why Mario Lemina is not involved today. He was one of the 6 players brought in by Wolves in the January transfer window. And the sporting director, Matt Hobbs, sat down with Wolves TV's Gemma Frith to discuss it all.
Matt, it's been a busy month for you. Your first transfer window as sporting director has come to an end. Are you happy with how it went?
Yeah, I think it's been... We've had a period where we had a new manager come in, you had the World Cup break, a mini pre-season, and so obviously I was waiting for our players to come back from the World Cup. So I think it's been a really testing time, maybe a really advantageous time as well, because we've had that time for the manager to work with the players and understand what we need, sort of leading us into the transfer window, and plenty of time to meet, especially whilst we were in Marbella, to understand what we need. So I feel that I've been lucky to come in at that time and start my role at that time with a new manager, because we've had time to really evaluate who we are as a football club, what we want our team to look like, what we think the fans want our team to look like, and so we've been able to take our time with that before sort of heading into the new window.
Well, we've managed to secure 6 top targets. How much hard work goes into getting those signatures?
Yeah, I think it's hard work by a lot of people when it's over a long period of time. So there's players there that we've been working on and scouting for 18 months, 2 years. There's players that we looked at in the summer and tried to sign, and some that we looked at that we didn't try to sign under the last manager. So I think for us it's testament to the hard work done by a number of people, the scouting and recruitment team, which I was part of before, but also with the new manager and his staff coming in. Most of the players they knew, but a few players that sort of they knew with a limited amount of information, so they wanted to go away and do their work. They're really all over the detail of every player, so even the players that they knew, they wanted to go away and do work on. And what's great is the players we put forward, they go away and do the work on that's needed from their perspective, be comfortable with it. They come back and it marries up with us. So that's great for us as a recruitment team and in my role. And then it's kind of over to me to try and get the deals done, as it were. And it's not always simple, as we saw with Zhao. We can't control everything, but the club have been great. The club have backed us and the manager. I wanted to try and give him the players that he was after.
Julian did speak to every player before the signing. What impact do you think those conversations that he had with them had?
I think they're really important for us, because we were very sure on the type of individuals that we wanted to bring in, the right personalities. Julian wouldn't sign a player he's not spoken to, because he wants to get a feel. Talks a lot about a feel for a player. If I'm the player, I think it's really important for them also, because they want to feel they're coming to a club, especially if they're coming halfway around the world to move, not used to the culture, that they believe that the manager really wants them there. So I think from both sides, for us to get a feel for the player, but for the player to feel like, yeah, the club really want me, I think works really well for both. And so far, the players have come in, settled, felt important, felt part of it, and that's enabled them to develop and find their role quickly within the squad.
It's enabled them to have an instant impact on the pitch as well, hasn't it? Of course, particularly stand out Craig Dawson and João Gomez scoring on both of their debuts. It's been a good couple of weeks for them, isn't it?
Yeah, we'll always take that. It's always nice when a new signing comes in and gets off to a great start and helps them settle, helps them feel part of it. But also as a club, it shows that the work that we've done has been the right work, and with different players there'll be ups and downs, and we appreciate that and understand that, and different lengths of time for people to settle. But one of your 6 signings, they've all come in and had an impact, whether that's what you see on the pitch or like Dan's had behind the scenes and off the pitch and providing that competition to Jose. All 6 have had a real impact, so we're really happy about that.
How important is it in a transfer window to look beyond just the rest of the season and really think about the long term for the new recruits, and also planning for the future and future windows?
My job is to try and work sort of 2 or 3 windows ahead, and sort of we focus a lot on the balance of our squad. That's positionally, that's attributes within certain units of the pitch. If you look at our midfield now, we look really well balanced with different types of players in there, which enables a manager, gives the manager more, I guess, options when it comes to who we're playing. But we have to look at age profile, contract profile. So my job is to work 2 or 3, because we also understand that players will come, develop quickly, like I guess Diogo did, and then big clubs look to come in. So we also know that under this manager and the way the players are playing, and with our age profile, there will be times when sort of big clubs come in and want to take your players, and we have to be able to react to that. And sometimes they stay longer than we maybe anticipated they would, which is great, like a Ruben. But then sometimes we have to understand that it's the right time, but we have to be set up and have done enough work. Like João, where it's taken 18 months to know actually, well, we've already been working on this one, so if someone comes in, we're ready to go with that same type of player.
It seems from the outside looking in, without being involved in all those conversations and all the work that goes on, that it's been a very calm and well executed window. It seems like it's been a great success. Is there something that you've learned behind the scenes, perhaps for future windows, or anything that you want to do differently in the future?
Maybe not stuff I want to do differently. I think it's reaffirmed a lot of the processes we had in place that maybe weren't utilised before, for one reason or another. So I think actually what it's given us is a more balanced approach to the work we do. I'm glad it looked calm, because it didn't feel that way. A little bit like a duck floating along the water. But look, it's never going to be straightforward. If you're trying to take players from other teams and it's their best player, you're going to expect other clubs to get involved. And just because it starts off well, like the João one, you have to be able to react. But again, if you identify the right person, you've done it the right way, like João did, where he kind of forced it through really, and without his stance on it, maybe it wouldn't have been possible. But it goes back to the work you do on the individual and the way that you sell the club to them, which is really important. But no, I think for me it's shown our processes work, and if we use them in the right way and the manager enables us to use them in the right way and endorses it, which he has, I think that shows that we're capable of doing good work, especially within a window.
Well, now the window's come to an end, you've had a couple of weeks to get back to other elements of your job. What sort of things have you been able to focus on since then? Basically
everything else. Just during a window with a new manager, you kind of, everything gets pushed to one side. Right, I'll get to that. Let me get through this, especially a new manager. We wanted to do sort of a few players in, working with Matt Jackson, done a great job getting players out as well, so they can keep developing, which is key to our model. But now it's sort of getting to work with the academy, doing analysis of all the departments to make sure that it marries up to what Julian wants them to do, the women's and girls, to make sure we're supporting that and looking at how we can develop that in the future. So everything apart from transfers now comes into play.
You mentioned the academy there. It's been a really good year for the academy, producing players that have gone on to play in the first team. How important is that for the model that we have at Wolves?
I think it's important, 2 sides. There's obviously the financial part, where if you develop a player, it's much cheaper now to go and spend £20 million on a player, and it gives you assets to sell in the future, like we saw with Morgan. But I think it's important for the fans. I think most clubs buy into the younger players that come through and probably give them a bit more time to ease their way in. So it'll always be a big part of our model, but from both sides, because it helps us balance the squad. But I think the fan base here really love the fact that players come through, and it's testament to the work being done in the academy through John and Laura in the development and the coaches there, but also Harry and his team, with the ones that we're recruiting in, have come in and done really well. So it'll always be a huge part of our model, but not just from a financial perspective, but also I think is important for the fans to have players to really buy into.
And with the women's and girls football as well, of course, there's been some great progress there in recent years. And you attended the fixture a couple of weeks ago when they faced WSL opposition for the first time. How did you find it at Telford?
It's actually my first game. This is my first game just because in my last role I was always away at games and watching players, and I really enjoyed it. Obviously it was some spectacle for the first one against West Ham, and a real eye-opener for me. And all it made me do is go along and think, well, we have to find a way to try and help them keep developing and keep moving forward like the rest of the club is, and we don't want them to get left behind or anything like that. So it just sort of reaffirmed to me that across the football club everyone needs to be, I guess, looked after and helped develop. So yeah, it probably just gave me more appetite to support them in any way that we can, really.
Reflecting on these first few months that you've been in your role, then generally not just focusing on the window, how have you found the role as sporting director?
First and foremost, I'm really lucky. Julien and his staff come in has probably really helped me, and us coming in at the same time, and we're looking at it with fresh eyes. And although I've been at the club a while now and sort of seen great times, and then sort of more recently times where I guess we were struggling slightly, but we were never far away. So for me, it was just the possibility to realign who we are, maybe get back a little bit to, I mean, you spend time at the training ground, get that feel back in the training ground that we always had, where sort of unity and everyone together. So I've been fortunate in many ways. And then obviously the club backed us in the window. We're able to get deals done, which helps, and those players. So it's been good. I've learned a lot. It's reaffirmed a lot of the practice we had in place for me that I always thought would work, given the opportunity. So yeah, I feel like we're getting back to where we should be, and that actually the club's in a really good spot.
Coming in at the same time as Julien, of course, he's got a very experienced team behind him. Have you been able to see how they've settled in? Have they settled into life at Wolves now?
Yeah, I mean, they love the area. Obviously, we spend a huge amount of time we're there at 7 in the morning, and we don't leave till 8, 9 o'clock at night, and so you grow a real fondness for people. So I think they are good people, good men, that make people want to work hard for them because of the type of people they are. I think it's not coming in through managing through fear or anything like that. It's you see their work ethic, you want to match that. This is across all departments, but the way they've been so collaborative, I feel, across all the departments, whether it's the analysis, the recruitment, the medical, the academy, they care. They really care, and they really care quickly. So I think that makes everyone buy into what they want, and I think naturally you go that extra yard for them because of the people they are.
You spoke before about how you wanted to actually bring departments closer, and have you seen that happen then in the past few months?
Yeah, it's definitely happened, but I may want it to happen, but unless Julien wants it to happen and encourages it and endorses it every day, it doesn't happen. So as much as I've wanted it to happen, he's made it happen.
Absolutely. What other changes are there that you perhaps want to make, looking perhaps not just the rest of the season, but perhaps beyond there? Is there anything that you've got on your radar that you'd like to do?
I mean, there's lots, but I think for us it's a gradual process, not something we can change overnight. You want to keep developing all departments. I talked about women's and girls. That's important to keep supporting them. The academy, to expand the academy building, because we've kind of outgrown it really. To make sure that we keep our facility at a level that mirrors our first team. We're trying to be elite, so let's make sure everything around it fits that. Obviously Molyneux is an ongoing sort of topic, and look, I think through the ownership, all these things are in the pipeline, but we have to understand that these things take time. But I need to make sure I don't just look at the first team, and the scope's a bit wider than that, and that everything develops at the same rate. And so yeah, so lots to develop, but you know, we need time to do that for sure.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much, Matt.
Wolverhampton is a proud and diverse city, proud of its history and proud of its people. When times are tough and life is challenging, Wolverhampton stands together. At Wolves Foundation, we are the heartbeat of the community. We support thousands of people across the city of all ages and abilities. Half of the people we work with are from areas among the most deprived 10% in the country. We encourage people to become healthier and more active. 92% of our participants have improved their mental and physical well-being. We develop lifelong learning and skills. 90% of our participants have improved their educational achievement. We work hard to build safe, strong, and active communities. 84% of our participants feel they have contributed to a safer, stronger, and more inclusive community. Football is such a powerful sport. It brings us together and drives us forward. At Wolves Foundation, we are proud of our work and proud of our impact. Creating opportunities and changing lives.
Do you have what it takes? It's the strategy, the discipline, the anticipation, the defeats, the victories, the people who get it, the people who don't. We are Wolves Women, and we are their official FX trading partner.
It's Matchday Live Extra with myself, Mikey Burrows, Andy Thompson, Lee Naylor, counting down to kick off Wolves against Bournemouth. Last time they met, we'll take a look at that as we speak. It was a goalless draw that came off the back of them shipping 9 at Liverpool, Tomo. That night, back in August, Wolves were not good. And Bournemouth actually started on a run. I think they were 6 unbeaten after that game. So it's kind of difficult to tell exactly kind of what Bournemouth to expect, really, because they had a good run and they've since, their form's diverged away.
Yeah, so look, after that defeat against Liverpool, you thought that, look, they're going to make sure that they defend like their lives. But I thought we had opportunities in that game. I thought that, as you touched on there, we weren't great, but we did have some chances. Like you say, we're just watching one there, and there was opportunity for us to get a victory against Bournemouth, because I don't think they were great either. We just needed to take their initiative a little bit better and take the game to Bournemouth, because they were there for the taking. They were down after that defeat to Liverpool, and there was an opportunity for me that was missed.
What Bournemouth are you expecting Lee Naylor to show up today?
Ones that need points. Yeah, I mean, we're both down now, and it's not easy at the bottom of the league, and things don't go your way most of the time. But I think Wolves have turned the corner. I think, the way the managers set us up, I think, it's there for us to go and get the points. It's going to be difficult because Bournemouth are fighting for their lives, but for me, it's got to be about us today.
2 points and 2 goals for the Cherries since returning from the World Cup break. Does that suggest that they're going to be overly defensive, or do we expect something different from them today? Because they'll know that this is a Wolves team that maybe would quite like them to come on and play at them. So how do they go about it? How do Wolves then try and counter that, Tomo?
Well, the quality that we got, we're hoping that we can break against them and get chances against them. I'm sure that they'll come here and try to make sure they don't concede. I think they'll be happy with the point here today, with the run that they're under. So for me, I just think Wolves are just going to play their game and just be patient. But also as well, we just need to make sure that we don't get sloppy at the back, don't take risks at all, because we don't want to give away silly goals just to give them an opportunity. Because if they do get a goal, they'll be defending right behind the ball. They'll be playing deep, making it very difficult for Wolves. But I think that they'll come here today hoping for a point for me.
I mean, we have to be confident, don't we, Lee Naylor? This is a Wolves team who only Man City have taken more points than them in the last 4 matches.
I mean, for me, we got to go out the way we did when we came out against Liverpool. We put the game to them, and I think that's the way you have to approach the rest of the season. If we play with that intensity, we play with that level of quality, then there's not many teams that'll deal with Wolves at Wolves.
Very quickly, there are some people on social media suggesting Tomo's going to go for 4-0 today. Most people would have put the safe money on a Tomo 2-1. What are you going for?
3-1. I'm going for 3-1.
Split the
3-1.
difference.
Yeah, splitting the difference between it. I just think that the way that we're playing, being at home as well, crowd behind us, I'm hoping that we're going to start on the front foot, get at Bournemouth, make it difficult for us. And again, I'm hoping our quality will shine through and just get us that victory.
Nails.
2-1.
He's left it open. And Nails has just stepped up there for the rebound, slotted it home.
I was buzzing when he said 3-1. Buzzing.
Yeah, open the door for you, mate. Open the door for you. Mike is just going as 1-0.
Absolutely. Consistency is key. And winning games consistently is what gets you up the table. That's the way Wolves have been going. Hopefully it continues. Commentary from the three of us available at wolves.co.uk and wherever you are on the move, the Wolves app. Join us for that in a couple of minutes' time, and hopefully Wolves will get a victory. We'll leave you, dipped into the archive to look back on a previous Wolves victory over Bournemouth here at Molineux.
You said I won't like you when I get to know you. Yeah, I look beyond the what you said, cause I was ready for it. I know that you don't think you are too healthy for me. Yeah, you said I won't like you when I get to know you. Well, I guess you was right. Yeah, well, you right now. Yeah, you right now. I guess you was right. Yeah, where you right now? I need you right now. I guess you was right. Where you right now? Yeah, you right now. I guess you was right. Yeah, where you right now? I need you right now. I heard all the words you said, but I don't listen to you. I only hear what I need. I know that's why I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I know I ain't been the best person for you lately. You sound like you when I get to know you. Well, I guess you was right. Yeah, well, you right now. Yeah, you right now. I guess you was right. Yeah, where you right now? I need you right now. I guess you was right. Well, you right now. Yeah, you right now. I guess you was right. Yeah, but you right now, I need you right now. I heard all the words you said, but I don't listen to you. I only hear what I need. I know that's why I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah. I know I ain't been the best person for you lately. You sound like you when I get to know you. Well, I guess you was right. Yeah, well, you right now. Yeah, you right now. I guess you was right. Yeah, where you right now? I need you right now. I guess you was right. Well, you right now. Yeah, you right now. I guess you was right. Yeah, where you right now? I need you right now.
Hard conditions out there. It was wind coming from every angle, raining all game. It was cold. But, lads dug in, and that's what we needed to do. And obviously we've got the 3 points in the end, which is massive for us.
There were moments that we were able to have good possession of the ball. There were moments that we only had counter-attacked. But all the game we defend well. We didn't allow Bournemouth to create chances. So this is the first principle, and it's a clean sheet. It's very important for us.
The law of this jungle is as old and as real as the sky. And the wolf that abides will prosper, but a wolf that breaks it will die. You see, out here in this jungle, we run it forward and back. For the strength of the pack is the wolf, and the strength of the wolf is the pack. I used to run with the pack, nowadays I run for the pack. Represent from the front to the back. Balls in my heart, my city and the map. I was in the field, you're sitting on the bench. See me in the gym, rep till I'm bench. Sweat till I win, that's a victory stench. Yeah, we stay ready for the war, man, I settle in the score. Right now I'm with the hype, I ain't in it for the light. I was down in the ground, now I'm up for the fight. Seaside at the dark, now it's into the light. Alpha mode down for my team. I wake up and I'm chasing a dream. Don't dirt, but my crap stay clean. Step for me, rude, boy, how you mean? Look at my tongue with the verses. Clean sheet in him, and I'm on the verse with. Prize fighter, I'm taking the purses. Death match and death, I'm making hearses. The law of this jungle, we run it forward and back. For the strength of the pack is the wolf, and the strength of the wolf is the pack.